I think that the Canes are some fake demons. They're not really tough like that.
That's my dog.
I'm sorry, though. That's my dog. I don't know about that anymore because I got the Canes in 5.
Okay, whatever. Fuck off. Take it all back.
I just,
Yep.
Stick talk. Stick talk. Stick talk. Stick talk. Stick talk.
And
Hockey.
Yes, sir.
Welcome back, everyone. This is episode 106 of Stick Talk Hockey, and we are here with the playoffs.
Oh, baby, buckle up. It's the playoffs. Let's go.
Finally, another long 82 games in the books. Today, we're going to go down the road of the whole first round here, make our predictions, plant our stakes, get ready to be wrong. And I couldn't be more excited. I love the playoffs.
100%. It's when hockey gets really real. Like, you saw it immediately. We're recording this on Sunday, so 2 games have played already.
Yep.
It's 11 a.m., just for transparency's sake.
Yep.
But we did get these brackets and teams submitted before the playoffs started.
100%
So,
we did.
Just so y'all know, there's
Yep.
no fudge in the system here.
No, and I
And-
mean, like, the scheduling is really bizarre, right? Like, it was kind of hard to find a good starting point here because, like, the Blues and the Jets played last night, and they'll play Monday night.
What a game. Did you catch any of that first period?
Yeah, that was a heater off deck.
Someone let the trains off the tracks. Dear
Yeah.
sweet Jesus.
Yeah. No, both those teams came ready to play. That was a super fun first game of the playoffs.
Phenomenal game. And what an ending, too.
Yeah. Yeah. Kyle Connor, the hero.
Yeah, with the Mark Scheifele pass.
Mm-hmm.
God,
Big
that
dogs.
guy's good.
Big dogs changing the game.
Yeah.
As always, I'm your host, Tico. This is my co-host.
I'm yours truly.
We got our producer over there.
There's Jay.
And yeah, we're gonna go through everything here. We got a bunch of stats laid out. Yeah, very peculiar that the St. Louis and the Jets will have completed Game 2 on Monday, a full day before Florida and Tampa play Game 1.
It's a little weird.
I get it. Scheduling conflicts are an obstacle for the league, of course. I totally understand it. It's just a little bit. It'll be a little bit odd, like being hyped for a Game 3 before there's been a Game 1 in another series.
And I imagine that, like, booking the arena is difficult when everything's TBD and the arena still wants to make money if you don't make the playoffs.
Totally.
Like if you're not going to make playoffs, we're going to have Celine Dion. I don't know what the hell to tell you.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, those big tours and stuff like that and big events, like, they're booked so far in advance. You're not moving anything, right?
No, and we're right in the big swing of festival season and
Yeah.
all the pop-ups coming
Yeah.
like city to city, all of the smaller ones. So
Big
I
time.
get it.
Yeah, of course. Let's jump right in.
Hell yeah. I'm so ready.
Yeah, we're gonna start out west up first, with the 2 series that have started off. First up, though, we got the Dallas Stars and the Colorado Avalanche.
You know, I think this one's going to be a lot starker of a contrast between these teams than people think.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it, like, on the pod when you were gone last week, how, like, Dallas was the odds-on favorite to win the Stanley Cup. And, I mean, I've been saying all week that Dallas will be lucky to play 6 playoff games this year. Because, nah.
Nah, it's right.
Nah. I mean, look, like, I've got some analytics up for everything here. I mean, when you look at their all of these stats are 5-on-5. That's kind of what I was most looking at. Their expected goals are top 10 in the league, much better than Colorado's 15th in the league. Their PDO much higher than Dallas's. Their 4th, or than Colorado's. Dallas's 4th, Colorado's 24th. And 5th in high danger chances for at 5-on-5 for Dallas versus 14th for Colorado. But it still just doesn't properly capture how horrified I am of Dallas's defense.
That's kind of it. When I was really looking at the play down the stretch and what they were marching into this series with.
Yeah.
I was looking at the Stars and I was like, this team objectively didn't get better from game 1 to game 82. But you
No.
look at the Avs and this team got insurmountably better every
Yeah.
month, especially the last 2 or 3 coming
Yeah.
down the stretch with injuries and with players being rested.
For sure.
That's
100%.
crazy.
Yeah. And then what was JD, what was their last game of the season for Dallas?
It was against Nashville where they
Yeah.
lost 5-1
Yeah, woof.
to Nashville.
That's
To the 2025 Nashville Predators.
That might have been the most goals Nashville scored in a game this year.
Yeah. I mean, there's a couple upsets where, like, the betting markets seem to be predicting upsets. You know what I mean? Like it seems like a lot of people are picking Colorado and the Kings over the Oilers, which we'll get to. But like, yeah, I don't know. Colorado just seems too elite, and they have the most elite players in the series. You know, with Cale Makar and obviously Nathan McKinnon. Dallas, it looks like Jason Robertson. I mean, he's skating. So, I mean, it looks like he'll be back soon, but they sorely missed him last night. Still no Miro Heiskanen. It's really hard for me to see a path to Dallas winning that.
absolutely. And I mean, we were making a big deal about the boy, Landeskog.
Yeah.
And his star-studded documentary.
Yeah.
Want to say I told you so.
You did. Yeah.
I'm sipping on a cup of it today.
Mhm.
But he didn't make this game. He didn't dress.
No.
And they still found a way to pot 5.
Yeah.
One of them was an empty netter. Don't
Two
care.
of
Don't
them.
want to hear it.
2 of them.
Whoa. Oh, 2?
Yeah. That
Damn.
game was much closer than the 5-1 scoreboard said. That was a 3-1 game with a couple empty netters.
Okay. I only saw the McKinnon empty netter at
Yeah.
the end. I was cooking, unfortunately.
But it was still a pretty decisive victory for the Colorado Avalanche. The only thing that concerns me, like, down the stretch when we're looking at Colorado is Mackenzie Blackwood. I'm
Thank you.
very happy for Mackenzie Blackwood. I feel like that's someone that we've talked about for years now.
Hasn't gotten a break. I mean, he hasn't
Yeah.
really put himself in position to get a break.
Yeah, no.
But he's kind of very Mike Smith in that way, where like
For sure.
he deserves respect, but then the more he does, the more you're like, oh, I'll give it to you later.
But then, like, he just kind of, like, fell off the face of the earth. And, like, after he was, you know, it's I find it very funny now that we're here years later after he was a hopeful when the Devils were going. It was hopeful that he'd be an Olympic goalie.
Yeah, he was on the 4th spot for Team Canada. He was knocking at the door.
And now here we are again. I mean, if they have a deep playoff run here and he's great, are they not going to be wondering if he'll be one of the guys next year at the Olympics?
You kind of have to, and unfortunately, that's the way that the hockey world works. Is there's a lot of recency bias. I don't necessarily
Absolutely.
believe in it
I kind of do with goalies.
to a degree, but I mean, like, Binner's been electric
Oh,
and
I
is
mean,
still being
yeah.
electric, and I don't want to see that type of a certified gamer get tossed aside
No.
for a guy
No,
who's
no.
just been pretty decent on a very good team.
Well, he most certainly won't. Like Jordan Binnington, barring injury, is almost certainly their game 1 starter in the Olympics.
He better be. He
But,
better
like,
be. But I know
I just
Team
mean
Canada.
over like maybe like Aiden Hill.
Yeah. Oh, I could see that for sure. For sure. Especially with the way that Aiden Hill's game has been slipping. It's been
Trending.
super
Yeah.
just turbulent as of late. I mean, he's opened the door for Akira Schmid to get some starts, and he's been looking pretty good. Like, I'd be a little concerned about my job going down the stretch if you
Yeah.
got that kind of youth coming up through the system.
My concern, I will say, through all of that, Blackwood, Akira Schmid, my concern for the Devils' ability to develop is still rising.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I really hope that their new goalie stays in Boston for another year and just works on his game,
Yeah.
because if they pull him up and go, yeah, you're going to get 30 starts, kiss his career goodbye. That's a 5-year parking ticket.
Yeah.
The boots on, you're not going nowhere, bud.
Yeah.
I do want to highlight something too, which it's just one of those oh how the tables do table moments.
Mm.
Mackenzie Blackwood.
Yeah.
Last year.
Yeah.
Middle of nowhere. nowhere to be found.
Yes,
Rotting.
San Jose.
Rotting in the West
Yeah.
with the Sharks. And Jay, do you know who's there now?
Who'd that be?
Gorgiev,
Rotting away.
who used to be the goalie
Hmm.
for the Avalanche.
Indeed.
And funny enough, how the tables do table.
Mm-hmm.
It was in the news that I didn't include for this episode.
Yeah.
The Sharks have come out and said that they are not looking to re-sign Gorgiev following this season.
Probably a good idea.
Woof.
I mean, one of the worst seasons I've seen from a goalie in a long time.
The fall
Like a
off
starting goalie.
The fall off is catastrophic.
Yeah.
I don't think I've
100%.
ever seen anything quite that brutal that hasn't been led by either mental health issues, drug issues,
Yeah.
or just an injury in general.
Yeah, I completely agree. You got to give the Avs credit for, targeting a guy in Mackenzie Blackwood, trading Gorgiev for him, and just addressing the problem.
Yeah.
Mid-season. Teams need to do that more.
And they didn't go for the biggest name on the market. They went
No.
for what worked for them, which
Yeah.
I really admire in a team when you're able to cut through the noise and go, okay, the media says that these top 10 guys are trade targets.
Yeah.
We're not looking at any of them.
100%.
I want that guy. I want to catch a GM by surprise. So
For
he
sure.
has no preparation. What do you want for Blackwood? Oh, I don't know. A goalie? Probably. You got a goalie?
Yeah, we need someone to put in net.
Yeah, boom. Deal's done.
I like it. I like it quite a bit. I'm a little bit worried about Blackwood down the stretch. He played a lot of games this year, and we haven't seen him deep in a playoff run. But I think for this series, I like it. I like the Avalanche. I have the Avalanche in 5.
Wow. Yeah, I think I have the Avs in 5 as well, actually.
Avs in 5. Got Avs in what?
I think I had Avs in 5. I'm pretty sure. And if it wasn't 5, then I gave them 6.
What are you riding on? Tell me.
What am I?
What do you believe?
What?
Not what you believed yesterday. What do you believe today?
Avs in 6.
All right,
Avs in 6.
Jay.
I got Colorado and foe.
Foe.
Wow.
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 Clean sweep.
We talked about this series a lot, so I'm not going to get into it, but Dallas is just so bad to me.
Yeah.
Even before they started losing, they were just getting dominated
Mm-hmm.
by not good teams.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and I don't know. I
mean-
think they're going to lose the first 2 games, and then they have to go to Colorado. It's wraps.
Yeah.
Did you guys see Thomas Harley's quote last night?
No.
He said that, I think this is the best game we've played in the last 2 weeks.
Oh my God.
Oh, bro.
It's a 5-1 loss.
Don't say that.
Thomas.
Don't say that.
Thomas, it's not the time. It's not the time, brother. Don't say that.
On the Stars
Not
to-do
ideal.
list for the offseason, more media training. Underlined.
All right, Avs in 4. Yeah, Dallas. They were my favorite to win the cup last year. I put money on Dallas to win the cup when they were down 2-0 to Vegas in the first round.
Wow.
Yeah, that's how confident I was.
That's bold.
The odds were insane. I really believed they were going to beat that Vegas Golden Knights team, and they did. And then I saw what they're really made of against the Oilers, and it's nothing. And they're much worse than they were then. So, whatever.
Yeah, valid.
Next up, Winnipeg Jets and the St. Louis Blues. Winnipeg Jets, obviously, they won the President's Trophy. Is that correct?
Yep.
Yeah,
It's
so-
safe to say they're a favorite.
Yeah, safe to say they're a favorite. They're playing against a red-hot St. Louis Blues team who obviously has had their fortunes change significantly since the Jim Montgomery hiring. Spectacular. Good for them. It's been quite the run, led by, obviously, Kyrou, Robert Thomas, Jordan Binnington. They got some big dogs up there.
Zach Bolduc,
Zach Bolduc. Yep.
Neighbors. Yeah, there's
So-
a lot of boys on that team.
They pretty dominantly get themselves into that wild card spot. Good for them. And they get the top team in the league this year, the Winnipeg Jets. Tough scenes for them.
I mean, tough scenes, but you kind of knew you were going to draw this anyways. Like
course.
when you were gunning for that wild card spot, it was like, okay, we're not hitting WC1. We're
Yeah.
taking
Yeah.
the best team in our conference. So you kind of had to be mentally prepared for it,
Of
I would
course.
hope, or
Of
else that's
course.
just bad coaching and bad preparation on the players' parts. So I don't really buy the whole, like, we walked into a gun show and we're caught off guard.
Yeah.
I think this is probably the biggest question mark / asterisk series where anything could happen.
Mm.
And that's just speaking off the trauma of a hockey fan that's routinely watched the Jets walk into the playoffs with a super strong team.
Yeah.
And then shit their pants. Just leave big stained dookies everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, it's the Jets' MO at this point, and it's a shame. I mean, like, there's some things about the Jets that gravely concern me. First of all, Hellebuck's played more games than any goalie in the NHL this year.
I couldn't get that out of my head when I was doing these brackets.
Shocker, 63 NHL games along with 3 Four Nations games, 66 total.
I'll slap a saddle on him.
Yeah, what
Ride him to the store while you're at it.
What are we doing? I mean, look, his goals saved above expected is first in the league, 921 save percentage on the season. So, I mean, I understand why it's hard not to play him. Yeah, but you got to have some discipline, and they don't.
No.
Um,
Which is funny because they have enough discipline to stick Ehlers on the second line 24/7 or
Yeah.
lower.
yeah.
Like, yeah, no, we need to rest this guy. He doesn't need big minutes. Meanwhile,
Well, and I don't love their center depth either, in all seriousness. I don't mind it. I don't love it.
It does not scream cup winning.
No, it's
Not at all.
It certainly doesn't, right? Yeah. Shifley, Nemesnikov, Adam Lowry, Morgan Barron.
Barron scored. Barron
Mm.
scored in that first game.
Indeed, he did. And it was a fun first game, don't get me wrong. But I'm not going to let it taint how I feel about this team, this group. Which is not fantastic. I mean, this is really the PDO battle here, right? The Jets' second highest PDO in the NHL this season. And the St. Louis Blues, while they're 6th on the season, they are first highest PDO in the National Hockey League since Christmas. Yeah, so I mean, it's really the battle of the lucky shooters.
It's a war of attrition. It's going to be a goaltending duel. And that's why I think it has such a huge asterisk too, is because you can never predict a goaltending duel when
Yeah.
it's this high caliber.
Yeah,
It's so fluky, so hit or miss.
sure.
What's the quote? Mysterious puck. You can't predict hockey.
Oh, yeah. Bouncy puck is mysterious.
Bouncy puck is mysterious.
Indeed, indubitably.
Exactly. But I can, with good faith, say that the Jets have a lot more discipline on the ice in sticking to their structure.
Yeah.
Montgomery's done a ton of work with this team, and it looks great. I just don't think that they're consistently excellent in the smaller areas of the game where it really matters, where it
Yeah.
really comes down.
Yeah.
And the Jets have always kind of had this footing mantra about them in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see that this year. I don't see it with this group. This is a less talented group, yes, but they're a lot more hands-on. They're
Sure.
a lot more diligent in getting to the spaces and creating a problem.
Jay, how do you have some thoughts on this series?
You guys spoke about this off camera.
Mm.
The special teams mismatch here.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The Jets power play against the Blues penalty kill could very well be the difference here.
Yeah, for sure. Especially like early in the playoffs, right? We know the whistles they say they go away in the playoffs, but it tends to be as the playoffs go on later, right?
And that's why I use special teams to really pick like the
In the
difference
first round.
makers in the first round, but
Yeah.
I don't pay attention to it past that.
Mhm.
Then it's just who's better.
Mm-hmm.
With this one, I couldn't look past it. I mean, like, the Blues have been historically bad.
Yeah,
The Jets have been like remarkably good with their power play. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Like, it's just too much of a difference to say that won't make a difference.
Yeah.
And
100%.
I can appreciate Jim Montgomery's mantra when he was asked about it in the whole, oh, what are you gonna do when you have the Jets power play?
Sure.
well, we're not going to take penalties. Great. What happens when you do?
Sure.
You're going to.
Yeah. Yeah, you are going
Just
to.
saying, well, don't do
We
that
all
doesn't
do.
help. Like, we've all played
No.
golf.
It's
Oh, I'm
true.
not going to hit it in the water.
I'm just
Good
not
job,
gonna do that.
jackass. That'll be a good plan. What happens when you do?
Yeah, no, 100%. This one, I'm feeling the Jets in 6. I feel like that's kind of the safe answer. I understand that. But I really do think that St. Louis could find a way to win this series. I just think at the end of the day, they won't.
That's just it. I think that there's too much magic that's already gone the way
Yeah.
of the
Yeah.
Blues. I think if they drew any other team, I would be able to buy it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't buy this David versus Goliath battle. I got Jets in 5.
I like it. Jonesy.
I'm gonna be going with the Jets in 7. These two teams are actually just so similar.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this series, and like they're so similar that I really do think it could go either way.
Yeah.
The Jets' injuries concern me a lot,
Mm-hmm.
but I just thought about it, and I just feel like Connor Hellebuck will play better in a Game 7. So I took the Jets to win that Game 7.
It's a fair bet. I think that Hellebuck, this is going to be a really defining year for him,
Yeah.
where he's either going to be considered the Greg Norman of hockey for the rest of his life, and just never be able to hold it together when it really matters, or he's going to have his Rory moment.
If he has a bad series, which he wasn't great last night,
He wasn't, no.
I don't even like. It's gonna be so troubling, actually.
And can you call him an S-tier goalie like we were at the beginning of the season if he absolutely chokes another series?
Yes!
I don't know, dog.
Yes!
I don't know.
God damn! How many times do we have to have this coincidence, right? The goalie plays 60 games, and it's like, okay, Connor Hellebuck plays 1 million games, and then he falls apart in the playoffs. Must be a coincidence. He's just not a performer. Oh, Carey Price, the 1 year he drags that team to the finals was the year he played under 60 games. That's got to be a coincidence too, doesn't it? Oh, Vasilevsky, the 2 years that they won the Cups, he played under 60 games. Oh, yeah, that's a huge coincidence too. Roberto Luongo, he just falls apart in the finals. It's definitely not the fact that he played 70 games in a season. Like, I just simply cannot and will not buy that he just doesn't have the mentality for it. Like, goaltending's such a mental sport. To have this season that he's had, you have to be that dude.
I want to buy that. I really do, but I also just am so stuck in this contrarian mindset now where it's like, you've been played over 60 games for your entire goddamn career,
Mhm.
and you know it's coming. So change something in how you prepare. Do something different. Because
Who can do it? Who can do it?
you know you're going to end up with saddle marks on your back by the time you hit 82 anyways, so you may as well switch something up at least.
Look.
Don't just go into the playoffs in the exact same way you have the last 5 years and go, it's fine, I can do it this year.
And I get it. I'm not going to say that it's not his fault, because it is.
Like, change your conditioning, change
No.
your diet, change something.
No, I simply don't think it can be done. However, it is absolutely on him to not tell the coaches, yeah, I want to play every night.
Yeah,
Because
I mean,
that's how this happens, right?
he's a hockey player though. Like, they're going to, you know?
I understand. The onus is on the team to have some discipline. I know that you're Winnipeg. It's hard for you to keep talent. So when you have elite players, you want to just be like, yeah, do whatever you want, pal. Especially when it results in winning more games, especially like in the regular season. But you have to have discipline and say, no, sit.
Yep.
We're winning the President's Trophy. Why are we riding this guy?
Especially in the last 10 games, I was very baffled in like his starting over that stretch.
I'm already mad about next month when I see some article go up about how big the freaking Connor Hellebuck can't get it done in the playoffs. I'm pre-mad. I'm pre-mad about it.
We can move on from that. Great point. I still got Jets in 5. And for the record, I got him making finals this year.
I noticed that, actually. Even last year, 3 goalies played 60 games. I just inputted these stats the other day. 3 goalies over 60 games played, and frickin' Georgiev was the only one to win a series, and he only won one.
Woof. What are we going to call this stat? Because, like, this has to be a metric that's going to be adopted.
2023, 7 goalies, 60 games played. 4 of those goalies made the playoffs. Ottinger was the only one to win a series. 2022, 5 goalies, 60 games played. 3 of them made the playoff. Markstrom wins a round. And I made sure to note that after that, he lost the goalie battle in Edmonton to Mike Smith, of all goalies.
Shut up, Mike Smith. But not actually.
Yeah, I don't know. I've made my feelings on this very clear, so we can move on from it. But I'm really rooting for Connor Hellebuck.
We should call that the quadruple T stat.
Why?
Tico's timeline of tickling twine.
Tickle and twine.
Yep.
All right. I got no problem with it.
If your goalie starts over 60 going into the playoffs,
You're hooped.
yeah, you're a tickle me Elmo.
Absolutely hooped. Tickle me Elmo.
You'd be giggling all series.
All right, let's move on to the Kings and the Edmonton Oilers here. Did we all get our takes in on that last one? We did, didn't we? Okay, let's move on to the Kings and the Edmonton Oilers. This one, a very, very intriguing one. 4th straight year that we're getting this matchup. And unlike a lot of the matchups that we get for 4 straight years, or even 3 straight years, often I feel like by the 3rd time, I'm like, why are we doing this again?
Yeah, and it feels stale, and one of the teams has like had that catastrophic fall off where they've just found a way to make it here, and you're like the Islanders.
Like the Islanders.
How many times do we need to see like the Islanders play Carolina before we go
5.
like we're good?
But this time around, it really feels like the LA Kings might have something. They've been playing much better. They're much healthier. They're better than they were last year, while the Oilers are worse than they were last year.
And they're healthy.
Yeah,
like we can't understate how much health has been an issue for this Oilers squad coming down the last even 20 games. Yeah. We could wind it way back, and they've been having a lot of guys that are out, like day to day, back in, out, day to day, back in, out, and it's like, okay, are these guys even healthy? Like, do you know what's happening? Like Ekholm, I swear to God, was on the IR like 3 different times.
Yeah, and he's not playing right now. I mean, they had McDavid on the podium talking about like, you guys would be surprised how healthy we actually are. It's like, that's not something people usually say.
Yeah, that's not something a healthy person says.
No, it's certainly not. Also, kind of shocking. PDO for the Edmonton Oilers this season, 31st in the NHL. Woof.
Jesus.
It's pretty unfortunate for them. Stuart Skinner. Woof. I mean, just not a very good goalie this year, and was hurt. Played 50 games before he got hurt, 51. 896 on the season save percentage for him. A dash 2.8 goals saved above expected, which puts him at 24th of starting goalies.
Ick.
Not very good. On the other side, Darcy Kemper played about the same amount of games, 50 for him. 921 and save percentage, and 5th in goals saved above expected. He's had a great season. I'm very happy for the guy. I was really excited about that trade when we talked about this on the pod.
I'm eating my words about Kemper. He absolutely showed up this year. I was so concerned about that age. Like,
yeah, and with the injury history, I totally understand that. But I'm a big Darcy Kemper fan. I've been a big Darcy Kemper fan since he was in Arizona before he went to Colorado. And very, very happy for him. It was great to see him have such a great regular season, and I'm hoping that he can break some hearts in Edmonton this week.
Yeah, what do you got for it?
I have the Los Angeles Kings in 6 games.
Same, actually. It's the safe pick, but I mean, I don't see it going 7.
6 is always the safe pick, but I also don't see it going 7. And I also think that, like, hurt or not hurt, Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl are too good to go out, like, sad and bad in 4 and 5.
That was kind of what I was thinking too.
Yeah.
Like even if their health issues continue, you still have McDavid, Draisaitl,
Yeah.
and Corey Perry, who's not going to roll over either.
No.
He's not a contributor, but like he's going to provide that oomph, that
Mhm.
intangible bullshit that just somehow pans out to goals.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't explain Corey
Just that
Perry's game.
playoff
It pisses me
bullshit.
off. Yeah, he's not even playing the puck, and he'll
No.
still find a way to make a great play on it. It's like, whatever, dude.
Jay?
Kings in 5.
He's a 5.
I'm gonna be like really salty if the Oilers win this series.
Really?
Like I will be upset because this team is so bad. It's not
Yeah,
even funny.
I know.
That
Deeply flawed.
Ekholm being out kind of puts it over the edge for me though.
Yeah. I mean, that's huge.
That's big.
It was a huge swinging
Huge.
factor for me.
Like, he might. Would you say he's their best defenseman?
Defensive defenseman, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, defensive defenseman for sure.
Yeah, as far as like shutdown goes, yeah.
Easily. And they need some of that. Especially when you have Stuart Skinner in net.
Yeah, he's one of their best penalty killers, if not their best. I haven't seen their stats on that metric this year, but I can easily,
Yeah.
with good conscience, say he's probably in the top 2.
I mean, we'll post the brackets. So people will be able to see those. But I was very close to having the Los Angeles Kings in the Stanley Cup Finals.
I debated it, but I
Yeah.
just could not entertain them past 2. I don't know why. Just I look at that team and I say, wow, that's a team. It's a team that's not built to go far.
Let's get into
Well,
Vegas, Minnesota. Minnesota Wild, another wild card team playing the top of the Pacific, the Vegas Golden Knights. Gustafsson, probably the best goalie in this series. 58 games played for him. He's at a .914 save percentage, pretty solid there. Pretty dead smack in the middle of goals saved above expected, 11th in the league. Fine. Aiden Hill right there with him at 12th and a .906. He played 50 games this year. See, I think people really, really underrate Vegas. Like, honestly, I feel like no one ever talks about the Vegas Golden Knights anymore. They're just like, everyone's just like, oh yeah, they're always just good.
I think they're stepping into that Tampa role that we saw maybe
Yeah.
4 years ago, 3 years ago, where it's
Yeah.
like they're on their 5th appearance, 4th appearance, and you're like, yeah, okay, whatever.
Yeah,
Like,
they're just good. They're just dominating the regular season. But, like, they generate so much offense.
they have sneaky good players too. Like
Yeah.
they're quiet though. Like Jack Eichel, stud. Mark Stone, stud.
Jack Eichel's one of the best players in the league.
Dorfiev's been looking incredible. Olofsson, for some godforsaken reason, has had a career season.
Yeah.
Like they're getting scoring from places they shouldn't get scoring, and then on top
Yeah.
of that, you still have Thomas Hertl playing some of the best hockey he's ever played.
Mhm.
You still have Pietrangelo somehow making his golden hour stretch further than you could ever ask.
Mhm.
Like they have Hannafin too, right? That happened.
Yeah.
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 Okay. Yeah. I
Like,
thought it
just
was a trip in there.
somehow happened. Yeah.
Yeah, like that they made that happen. Like I have no idea how this team just keeps stumbling into the highlight player of every trade deadline, but they seem to make it happen.
They make it happen.
And then the noise just dies.
Yeah.
They're so quiet. Their front office is so quiet. Their
Yeah.
locker room is so quiet.
Yep.
But they're so consistently good.
I mean, their D group concerns me a little bit. They got some age back there for sure.
I'm kind of overlooking at age though. I think that we're just in a different era of the league where you can find a lot of really good use
Yeah.
for a guy who's 34 and not cook him to death.
Particularly on defense. I agree with that for sure.
Like I used to have a big stench about players over 32 where I was like, nah, I don't want him.
I
Find
recall.
someone younger, someone we can keep for longer and
Yeah.
build around. But like
Yeah.
honestly, Who cares?
Look at what Chris Tanem's doing in Toronto right now.
Exactly.
No,
Like,
I completely agree. Specifically that mold of defensemen, like shutdown defensemen who don't need to burn by people with speed.
and I think it speaks so much to, like, yes, it's a very young league and you have to have youth to keep up with it.
Mhm.
But there's just something that experience does when skill doesn't have experience.
Well, and particularly in that role, right, where like it's so much more about game sense and reading the game, being a shutdown defenseman, than it is, just using your physical tools to overpower. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I don't know. Vegas, second in the league at 5-on-5 expected goals, third in the league at high danger chances for. I think this is a dominant team. I know they're running into a finally healthy Minnesota Wild that was going sicko mode at the beginning of the year. Kirill Kaprizov. I actually don't think he's the best player in this series, for the record. I think that's Jack Eichel.
I agree.
Vegas in 5.
Wow.
That's my like upset take.
I don't think that's too much of an upset, honestly. Like,
I think in my bracket I had Vegas in 7, but as I'm talking about it, I'm feeling more and more confident, so I'm taking Vegas in 5.
valid. I'm sticking with my original prediction. I got Mini in 6.
Nice.
And I honestly don't have any statistical data to back this up.
Just vibes.
I always make one bracket where I have to look at it and just pick straight off vibes and be
Vibes
like,
only.
I don't know what it is about this Vegas team, but like they're just less hands-on than they've been in years past.
Yeah.
And that like attention to detail when playing the body and playing in the corners just matters so much for them.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if all of these guys that I had listed, like Dorfiev and Olofsson, I don't know if those shooting percentages continue to trend the way they do once you take away the more valuable spots in the ice. Like the game gets so much busier and so much tighter in the zones. I don't know if you're going to be able to find those guys with 3 seconds of open room at the top of the slot this time.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, just Eriksson Ek coming back, Kaprizov coming back.
Yeah.
There's something about the Wild that just makes me feel like I'll get burnt if I don't take him.
Valid. Jay?
I honestly share a lot of sentiment with what Trill just said.
Mm.
I commend the pick, but I'm gonna stick with Vegas.
Yeah.
And
I like that.
I'm not even that high on Vegas. I got them losing in the next round. But what I saw from Mini, even when they got healthy, just wasn't good enough. Like, they were just scraping by against the Canucks.
Yep.
The Sharks.
Yep.
The Ducks.
Wow.
They straight up lost to the Flames.
Womp, womp.
It just wasn't good enough, even though like I do like Minnesota, but
yeah,
it won't be enough.
I will say I'd love for them to go on a run here. For those Minnesota fans, they deserve it.
I think again it's gonna come down to special teams, and if Minnesota can stay out of the box.
Yeah.
I mean, some of their stats are just so they're so goddamn lopsided.
Yeah.
When you really get down to the nitty gritty.
Yeah.
And I also just feel like if it comes down to a war of attrition with goalies, I feel Minnesota's much more
I agree with that.
suited to handle a panic situation. Whereas
I agree.
Aiden Hill gets clipped early or he gets run into.
Yeah.
Who's next? And like,
I know. Yeah.
You know, Samsonov's been hurt for the better part of all year.
All year, yeah.
And what I mean, sure, Akira Schmid somehow has the playoff juice. You saw it with the Devils, but like, do you really want to lean on that? This guy's played 4 games for you all season. He's had a mid-season in the AHL. So,
all right. So let's head over to the East now.
Yeah.
We have some fun series out there as well. Some of the real toss-ups for me are in the East.
It's going to be really fun to watch the East. It's going to be a bitch to predict, though.
Yeah, 100%. First up, we have the Washington Capitals and those pesky Montreal Canadiens riding high off getting into the playoffs and getting Ivan Demigod. However, they kind of stumbled their way in. They made it much more difficult than it needed to be. Sam Montembeault played 61 games this year.
Oof.
I don't like that.
Nope.
He was 4th in the league for goals saved above expected. I like to see that. On the other hand, we have Charlie Lindgren and Logan Thompson. Logan Thompson's been hurt. Lindgren's been all right. He's been all right.
Honestly, not that good.
Yeah, not that good. Logan Thompson was really good. We'll see if he comes back, I suppose. I don't know what the actual timeline on that is. But I mean, very, very interesting series here, right? We have the storied run. It's a very different playoff appearance for the Capitals than their last few have. They've come into the playoffs as the Canadians, basically, for the last few years.
Yeah, barely squeaking in and kind of just being an entertaining first round.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, the Habs, when I was putting these numbers together here, their expected goals for, their expected goals against, their PDO, their high danger chances for, they're not even in the top half of the league, let alone the playoff teams.
And on top of that, they're actually a really small team.
They are.
And they're very young, so you can't hold it on. They're going to pick up weight. They're going to pick up muscle.
Yeah.
They're going to pick up size. But this
Yeah.
is a young team. I really wanted to buy into like the Habs youth magic, just skating circles around this old-ass Caps team.
Yeah.
I can't.
No.
They're going to get taken to school. They're getting
They will.
taken to the woodshed, and they're getting absolutely slashed on for 4 straight games.
Now, the interesting thing is, I think the Montreal Canadiens in this round, peculiarly, is that right?
That's right.
For me, I think I will be cheering harder for them than I'm cheering for any other team in this series or in this first round.
Agreed. This is a team I really want to see some beautiful like moments from. I want to
Yeah.
see them taking steps to build to next year.
Yeah.
Like I think they're going to have flashes of brilliance where that you're like, "Oh, okay, they might be able to contend."
Yeah.
But I think in the high danger and late game situations, you're just going to see that Washington Capitals experience, the system. It doesn't matter. They're all just so used to being there. They all have 20, 30, 40 pounds on the
Yeah,
guy across
big
from
team.
them. Like,
And I mean, like, they both have their, like, just joined X factors, right? Like, there's Demidov
and then
on
Ryan
Montreal's
Leonard.
side, and then Ryan Leonard on the other side. I'm gonna be cheering for Montreal. I love seeing the Bell Center on fire. It's electric in there. Caps in 5.
Yeah, I got Caps in 5 as well.
And so do I.
Big J, Caps in 5.
I
We're turning into a hive mind here at Stick Talk. I like it.
Clearly, yeah. I feel like this series is going to look a lot like when the Canadians made the finals during the COVID year, where they're going to be
Yeah.
like partying their ass off about that one win.
Yeah.
But whatever.
One of
It's
my
just going to be
regulars-
good to build on.
One of my regulars still talks about that.
Yeah, it's you got to hold on to something. Got to have hope. When the hockey's bad, you got to have hope.
Yeah. It ruined his week when they were no longer the last Canadian team to go to the finals because the Edmonton went there last year. It's like, who cares? Let's move on here to the Devils.
We're the Devils.
We got the Devils and the Carolina Hurricanes. I'm very thankful, Trill, that you are a huge Devils fan.
Yep.
Because that means I don't have to watch much of the series.
Yeah.
I'll get the game reports from you.
Yeah, don't worry about it. I'll be tuned into every single game. I want to point out that this is like my worst nightmare.
Yeah.
Canes in first round since like, I don't know, 2007 has been nothing but trauma for me. And many other Devils fans in my age demographic.
Mm-hmm.
Your team's so good. You have a chance to make it. You're nearing the end of your cup window push.
Mm-hmm.
And here comes the Canes every single year, beating you in game 7, beating you in game 6.
Mr. Game 7.
Yeah. Yeah, don't. Yeah,
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
yeah,
I'm sorry.
yeah. So
And without Jack Hughes.
yeah, and I mean, I don't know. This is another one. Like, I feel like a bad fan. As
Yeah.
much as I want to be a responsible journalist, I feel like my obligation is to be a good fan first. So I have the Devils in 5.
Hell yeah. I had the Canucks winning the cup last year in our bracket.
I have the Devils making Final 4.
Yeah.
That one I don't believe. I'll say that in good faith. I have to at least have them out of the first round, and then I was like, well, we're already here. We're already blowing up the brackets. We may as well throw them into the top
like
4. So
No, you know what? I got no problem with it. Carolina, look, I mean, they just rack up scoring opportunities. Whether it's high danger chances, medium danger chances, low danger chances, expected goals, any metric you want. Once again, they've dominated the league. They do this every single year. Now, their goaltending hasn't actually been very good this year. Anderson obviously has been hurt. He only played 22 games this year. But Kochetkov, nothing to write home again about. Not in the top half of the league in goals saved above expected or save percentage. Not ideal. I do think they get by the Devils, though.
I mean, that's not the emerging season you'd hope from a guy who's been
No.
playing a split for 3 years and should be very accustomed to playing games
Yeah.
by now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. There's just something about this Canes team. I think they're fraudulent. I think they're fake tough.
Yeah.
I don't think that they're actually playoff built. I think they're a very pretty statistical team like they always are.
Yeah.
Props to the Canes. They build an amazing on-paper team. The stats always look so freaking good.
I know you weren't here last week, but Jay, you were saying exactly that last week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly that, actually.
Analytical darling.
And I think they're fake tough. I think that
Yeah.
when the going gets, I think they're going to get going.
Yeah, I agree. I don't have the Carolina Hurricanes as one of my cup teams or anything like that this year. I do, however, have them beating the New Jersey Devils, and I think that's going to take a cool 5 games.
Okay, so the flip of mine.
Yeah.
Jay, what do you got? Help us sort this out.
I think that the Canes are some fake demons.
Mm.
They're not really tough like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's my dog.
I'm sorry, though. That's my dog. I don't know about that anymore because I got the Canes in 5.
Okay,
Yeah.
whatever. Fuck off. Take it all back.
The Devils are just worse, unfortunately. They're just the worst team.
I have just a weird prediction I just want to put out there.
Yeah.
That the Hurricanes won't lose a home game in the first 2 rounds of the playoffs.
Oh.
Cold.
Just a random prediction.
Okay. I'm here for it. Let's get to Tampa Bay and the Florida Panthers. The Battle of Florida.
If there's a table here, I'd be like slamming my hand.
Yeah. I will
Take my fucking money. Bang!
Air horns. Bwam, 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 bwam.
Anti-me, and I'm putting it all in.
Yep. Atlantic 2 team versus the Atlantic 3 team. Look, get ready for this one. I'm so excited to watch this Battle of Florida. 2 of the bigger favorites, Tampa, a little bit of a PDO bender this season. Number 1 PDO team in the league. Florida, actually 23rd, not a very fortunate team this season. Vasilevsky, y'all know how I feel. He's played 63 games this year. Oh, baby.
You see that he won the Players Award or player vote for best goalie in the league this year?
Wow.
That's what I said.
Wow.
Hellebuck finished 3rd.
Hellebuck getting disrespected even by players.
That's crazy.
I mean, he posted a 921, second in the league just behind Connor Hellebuck for a goal saved above expected. He's had himself a ridiculous season, and I love to see it. I love Andrei Vasilevsky. There's honestly not much more I need to get into about this because seriously, this series was a coin toss for me.
Yeah.
But I think when Andrei Vasilevsky is that Andrei Vasilevsky, he doesn't lose game 7s. We know what the numbers look like. And for that reason alone, Tampa in 7.
Wow. Again, big coin toss. And if I always have this theory that I roll with now, and it's an important one. And it's to trust your first pick.
Sure. Yeah.
Because your first pick is your heart, and your second pick is your ego trying to override it.
Sure.
And my ego wants to tell me that this is a Tampa series and that they are the better team, and getting the band back together makes so much sense.
Sure.
And Florida's been so hurt down the stretch, especially since that Four Nations thing, which I predicted was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I still just got to go with my first pick on this and say the Panthers are meaner, they're faster, and they just have some bullshit in the tank.
Yeah.
I got Florida in 6.
I got no problem with that. Jay, how do you feel about this series as a whole?
I'm gonna roll with Tampa in 6.
Okay.
I think that this series could be the litmus test for how teams rest players moving forward. Because the way I see it, I don't think that Florida can just hit the ground running.
Yeah.
Having not played like anybody for like the last 2 weeks, pretty much.
I agree.
I think Tampa jumps on them. I think Tampa's top guys are just different right now.
Yeah.
And they had a rough series last year,
Mm-hmm.
a year ago in the first round here.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Cooch, he's out for vengeance.
Yeah.
And
I think Kucherov's going to be a demon in this series. I agree.
like even with this rest, this Florida team has played so much hockey.
Yeah.
And just like the last 24 months that I'm gonna roll at Tampa here.
It's a fair pick.
Yeah.
Like,
I like
realistically, like especially when you take into consideration like the middle 6 of Tampa.
Yeah.
And the middle 6 to even top 6 of Florida.
Yeah.
Most of Florida's having an off year or a down year in production, whereas Tampa, you've seen some career years from guys that you were waiting to have them.
For sure.
You got Hagel surging like crazy. You got Cirelli. I think he had his first 30-goal season.
Yeah.
Like
Connor Geeky's been
Yeah.
Yo, they sent him to the A for 30 games. He was pissed. He hasn't.
He was like, I'm never going back.
Yeah, he came back, scored a goal, came back the next game, big assist. He was like, "F that.
I don't blame him.
I'm staying."
Alrighty. Last up. I also one of the series I'm most excited for. In fact, probably the series I'm most excited for. Another battle of the place, and it's the Battle of Ontario.
It's the one I was begging for a month ago.
Baby, Toronto versus Ottawa.
Everyone laughed. I was like, how good would a Battle of Ontario be if the Sens somehow found a way to bullshit their way in here? That'd be so good.
I was, like, I'm not going to lie. Originally, I said it on here. I was hoping for the Battle of the Kachucks. However, this one, I think that these two series, Toronto, Ottawa, Tampa, Florida, is like a much closer one than if we had like Ottawa, Florida, Tampa, Toronto, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I can't wait for this series. And I've gone back and forth pretty significantly on this one. My pick's pretty straightforward, though. Neither of these teams are actually all that good. When you look under the hood at these teams, I mean, this one I'll actually compare these stats for you here. Their expected goals for 21st for the Leafs, 23rd for the Senators, bottom half of the league. Goals against 12th for Toronto, expected goals against, 8th for Ottawa. Good, not elite on either side. High danger chances forward, 19th for Toronto, 26th for the Senators. Not elite anywhere.
No.
So then, my thoughts are that's not enough either way for me to care all that much. Like, for me to say, like, oh, well, this team generates way, way, way more than another team or anything like that. So then I'm looking at goaltending, and I'm looking at who's got dogs.
Yeah.
Goaltending. Toronto has one of the best goaltending duos they've run in this core, I would say.
Which is
and
shocking.
Stolarz. Yeah.
Didn't expect it.
I know. They've both been quite good, though.
Yeah.
No problems there. However, I think Linus Ullmark's better than both.
I agree.
And then when you look at the Dogs, I mean, Toronto's very lucky. They got one of the best shutdown pairings in hockey right now with that Chris Tanev pairing. But again, probably the best one this core's had.
Valid.
However, they got no dogs up front. We've seen it over and over every single year. William Nylander is the closest. No dogs.
Yeah,
And
I
you
mean-
got to play against Jake Sanderson and Brady Tkachuk.
it's tough. It's a tough
Sens
build.
Sens in 7.
Yeah, you know what? I'm so on the fence with this, and my pick's quite simple because I want wholeheartedly to buy into the Sens have way more dogs.
Yeah.
Way more just grit to get your way through a first round.
Yeah.
Definitely not long-term skill or talent to carry you
Sure.
far,
Sure.
but you could definitely make an upset, especially with their making the playoffs for the first time since 2017?
Yeah.
About that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Since they were one game away from the finals.
Yeah. So
Jay remembers.
Chris Kunitz.
Mm-hmm.
like we're like I could see it. I could so see it, but
Sure.
the Leafs have been so underwhelming all season.
Yeah.
They've been the epitome of a white spot lunch on the Queen of the Pacific,
Yeah.
or whatever the hell it's called.
Sure.
Like just
Easy phrase.
lukewarm, bland, soggy fries. That's your Leafs.
Yeah.
But there's something to be said about a team that can be so goddamn mediocre and carry out a 52-26-4 record.
Yeah.
I can't make sense of it. This team shouldn't be that good on paper, and I can't overlook it. I don't know why. I want to.
Yeah.
I really want to not buy the Leafs again because the Leafs just don't have the nuts. They don't let those
No.
nuts hang. They can't drag them on the ice the way that some of these Sens players can.
They lost to the Bruins last year.
Exactly.
The Bruins are at the bottom. They're going to have a top 5 pick, the Boston Bruins.
But
Dumpster fire.
this team's so mediocre. I can't ignore how bottom feedery they were. They
know,
just had
I
such a
know.
bottom feeder mantra for 40 to 50 games this season,
Yeah.
and they still managed to go 52-26-4, which tells me that the Leafs at their absolute worst are still better than half of these teams
Finding
at
ways
their
to win.
absolute best.
See, but their PDO is top 5 in the league. Like, they have been, for a team that's generated so little and been so mediocre, they've been extremely fortunate.
Yeah. And I mean, you'd kind of have to hope that you would see some upticks from people so you don't have
Yeah.
to rely on being fortunate.
Yeah.
Morgan Riley's had a dismal season.
Yeah.
I mean,
And they're bringing my boy back, Ryan Reeves. Just got recalled.
yeah. I wasn't actually sure if that happened or not.
It
That's where I was stopping, actually, because I was about to say they're probably going to shove frickin' Nick Robertson into the A again and then, or
Bring up-
healthy scratch him and bring up Ryan Reeves. Good call.
It's funny. I'm so heated about Ryan Reeves coming up, and you're just heated about Nick Robertson going down. I
Yeah.
love it. Yeah, I mean, I can't wait for Brady Tkachuk to, to just like do some horrific thing to Mitch Marner or Austin Matthews, and then it just pan to Ryan Reeves on the bench yapping because he actually won't play any minutes.
Real. That's so real. Oh my god.
Those knees made of plywood.
So who's the pick, Trill?
Got the Leafs in 6, and it's not pretty either. Two of those series where you look at and you're like, wow, if we played that series 100 times, you'd lose 70 of them.
Don't see how you're feeling.
I'm gonna roll with the Senators in 7 as well.
My man.
I hope so. I'd love to see
Yeah.
that.
I kind of agree with what you said. Like, the Leafs have been like fairly mediocre, but I feel like it's different than previous years. Like, in previous years, they're like a really good regular season team,
A dominant analytic team.
and like Austin Matthews has 70 goals.
Yeah.
And like their stars are just humming.
Yeah.
But this year, they're like, their top guys are pretty just
Average.
good.
Yeah.
What did Austin have? Like 30?
33 goals, something like
33,
that.
yeah.
Whoa.
So, like, I was saying this to Reese. Like, I feel like they have another level to hit this year, which they haven't had in previous years.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly where I'm kind of looking at this from. Like, they have room to grow into something, whereas, like, the Sens just have to keep playing above their head.
But honestly, you know, like, it's a great shutdown pair. That doesn't mean it's a number one pair, though.
Yeah, that's fine.
Bars.
Yeah.
100% bars.
And
We told you not to spit into the mic, Jay.
yeah. And like I'm just looking, I feel like Ottawa's so built perfectly, honestly.
To beat Toronto.
Like just for playoff hockey. Like I think they got the top end talent. I think they have a great forward core. I think they have a number one E-man.
Yeah.
And I'm not even a big Linus Hallmark guy.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, last year against Toronto, he played pretty bad.
He did.
Swayman had to bail him out in that series.
That's right.
But I got faith. And I just think this series is so close that if I had to pick who's winning a game 7, it's not Toronto.
That's exactly my thoughts as well. I think it's going to be a close series. I think it's going to go the distance. And like I'm simply not stupid enough to pick the Toronto Maple Leafs in a game 7.
That's why I chose them in 6.
That's brilliant. Because if it goes 7, we know how this story unfolds. And I mean, really though, like they've made excuses every single year, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just Boston has their number, you know?
Oh,
Florida went on to win the cup.
sure, that's a great consolation cake.
Tampa went on to, did they win that year? Or yeah, they beat
They-
Tampa, right? Who else did they lose to?
Well, they lost to Columbus in 2020.
Just bringing up those
Right,
fresh
actually.
wounds.
But
Crazy.
like, here we are at this kind of crossroads where like Marner's expiring. There's like rumblings about coaching and stuff, and it's like, if you lose to the lowly Ottawa Senators in the first round of the playoffs after going 50 wins again, like this has to be the end, right? Like we gotta move on.
I mean, you would think so. I just think that this team's been so freaking brutal that 50 wins doesn't even like. If you showed me the games,
Yeah.
without scores,
Yeah.
and just locked me in a CIA safe room for like 100 hours to
Just
watch the
watching
entire
tape.
Leafs season,
Yeah.
of tape without like any discernible counter, I would probably tell you this is like a 40-win team.
Yeah.
Where'd the other 12 come from? I don't know. They're there though. I can't look past that.
Yeah.
Like being that brutal and finding that many ways to win, you have to imagine that if and when the stars show up, Lord forbid they don't.
Yeah.
That's a beast of a team.
Absolutely.
I mean, Ottawa had their dogs showing up all year and streaks, spurts, and jumps and leaps
Mhm.
and bounds, and
Mhm.
they're still at 45.
Yeah.
I'd love to see the Sens win. I think that's incredible, like TV, incredible.
I'll be glued to this series.
Yeah, you can't not be.
They'll be playing game 1 before this episode comes out tonight in about 4 hours for us here. I'm very excited.
But yeah, if the Leafs don't do something like satisfying
Yeah.
with this playoff,
Yeah.
you have to imagine that's it.
You do.
Like Marner's gone. They're selling Riley. They got to start moving pieces to start.
You gotta just start. You gotta start just moving stuff. Yeah, you got.
Yeah, you have to
move on
redefine
from
the-
Marner.
You have to redefine the identity of the team.
Yeah.
Like, because it's clear that the one you've set out isn't working. And you
No.
can't blame it on skill. You can't blame it on toughness. You can't blame it
No.
on coaching. You can't blame it on the system of the coaching. You've tried all of it. You've exercised every
Yeah.
demon in the house, and you still have a poltergeist stacking chairs.
Yeah.
It.
I'm excited. I can't wait. Playoffs are here. Let's absolutely go. Those are our predictions. I couldn't be more excited.
I'm fucking stoked.
That's why we sit in these chairs for 6 months straight.
Yep.
Waiting for this.
Every
cannot
weekend, locked in for you.
If
And-
you have any takes that you think we're dead wrong on, please let us know what you think.
Yeah, honestly, I'd love to hear your take on some of these series because they are so interesting and there's so many different things
Yeah.
to dig into.
If you've got something that you think we missed and you got a take that pans out, we'll shout you out on the pod.
Absolutely.
100%.
And by all means, please feel free to jump into the comments and let us know who you think is going to be like the underdog or who's going to go farthest. We
Yeah, for
love
sure.
to just see all of these
Absolutely.
off the wall takes and theories. We won't
Yep.
we won't put you in like a hall of shame worst category. We're not that
No,
mean.
no.
So
That-
please have
that's
fun in the comments and just
strictly reserved for ourselves.
yeah, please like throw shit at the wall. If
Yeah.
it sticks, we'll call you a genius, I promise.
That's right. Okay, let's get out of here because there's a Devils.
There's a Devils
Hurricanes
game in
to watch.
20 minutes.
Yep.
I gotta go.
That's right. As always, I'm your host Tico. This is my co-host.
I'm yours, Trilly.
Over there, we still got our producer.
Producer Jay.
And as always, keep your dang head up.
Keep your head up.
Boom.
Boom.
And let's go Devils! Yeah, baby!
Stick talk. Stick talk. Stick talk.